Do you think the world bends to the loudest voice? That screaming your truth will carve your name into stone? You're wrong. The world doesn't care about your noise. It bows to the one who moves in silence, the one who strikes with precision, the one who wields control like a blade in the dark. You've been taught to play fair, to follow rules, to wait your turn. But fairness is a trap. It's a cage built by those who already hold power, designed to keep you small, predictable, tame. Machiavelli knew this. He saw the game for what it is, a battlefield of perception, where the sharpest mind, not the loudest shout, claims the throne. You want to win? Stop begging for respect. Start commanding it. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be feared. Not with fists or threats, but with the weight of your presence. Caesar didn't conquer Rome by pleading. He crossed the Rubicon, knowing the dice were cast, knowing the world would bend or break before him. You must become that Phorcean empire in human form. Your first lesson is silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of a predator. A wolf doesn't howl before it strikes. It watches. It waits. Its eyes burn through the dark, and by the time its prey feels the gaze, it's too late. You must learn this. Speak less than you know. Let them wonder what's behind your eyes. Let their imagination fill the void with dread. That's where power begins, in the shadows of their uncertainty. You felt it, haven't you? That moment when someone underestimates you. They smirk, they dismiss, they turn their back. Good. Let them. Every misstep they take is a crack in their armor. You don't correct them. You don't argue. You wait. You study. You map their weaknesses like a general charting enemy lines. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but boldness isn't recklessness. It's calculation dressed in courage. You don't swing wildly. You aim for the heart. One strike, clean and final. When you move, let it be with such precision that they never see it coming. That's what separates the pawns from the kings, the ability to wait, to watch, to strike when the moment is yours. Think of Napoleon, exiled, mocked, a small man in a world of giants. Yet he returned, didn't he? He walked back into France, and men who'd cursed his name fell to their knees. Why? Because he understood power isn't given, it's taken. He didn't beg for loyalty. He assumed it. He didn't shout his plans. He executed them. You must do the same. Stop seeking permission. Stop waiting for the world to crown you. Take the crown yourself. Wear it in silence. Let your actions scream louder than any words ever could. The world doesn't reward the fair. It rewards the ruthless. It rewards the one who knows the game and plays it without mercy. You're still here, aren't you? Good. That means you feel at the pull of something deeper, something primal. The world has lied to you, told you to be patient, to be kind, to play by its rules. But rules are chains, and you're not built to be shackled. You're built to dominate, not with noise but with strategy, not with force but with finesse. Machiavelli didn't write for dreamers, he wrote for doers. For those who see the board and move the pieces before anyone else knows, the game has begun. You want to be that player. You want to be the one they whisper about, the one they fear without knowing why. Let's talk about perception. It's the sharpest weapon you'll ever wield. The world doesn't see the truth, it sees what you show it. You control the narrative. You shape the battlefield. When Caesar marched on Rome, he didn't just bring swords, he brought stories. He made sure every soldier, every citizen saw him as inevitable. You must do the same. Craft your image like a sculptor carving marble. Every word, every glance, every pause is a chisel strike. Make them see strength. Make them see mystery. Make them see a force they can't predict. When they can't predict you, they can't control you. And when they can't control you, they start to fear you. But fear isn't enough. Fear is the spark. Control is the fire. You don't just want them to hesitate, you want them to obey. Not because you demand it, but because they can't imagine defying you. Look at the wolf pack. The alpha doesn't bark orders every day. It doesn't need to. One look, one low growl, and the pack falls in line. That's your goal. Become the alpha in every room you enter. Not by shouting, but by knowing. Knowing their secrets. Knowing their fears. Knowing exactly where to press to make them bend. You don't need to raise your voice. You need to raise your value. Let your presence be the command they can't ignore. This isn't about cruelty. It's about precision. Machiavelli taught us that power isn't chaos, it's order. Your order. You don't lash out in anger. You strike with purpose. You don't waste energy on battles that don't matter. You choose your wars. You choose your moments. And when you strike, it's surgical. One clean cut, and the enemy falls before they know they're bleeding. That's what makes you unstoppable, not the size of your army, but the sharpness of your mind. You're not fighting for applause, you're fighting for control. And control is won in the shadows, not the spotlight. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? The world isn't a playground, it's a coliseum. And you're not here to entertain, you're here to conquer. Every step you take, every word you choose, every glance you cast is a move in the game. Machiavelli didn't just teach strategy, he taught survival, the kind that makes empires tremble and enemies kneel. You don't need their love, you need their respect. And respect isn't earned through kindness, it's forged through fearlessness. You must become the shadow they can't escape, the force they can't ignore. But how? By mastering the art of deception. Deception isn't lying, it's orchestration. It's letting them see what you want them to see, while you move 3 steps ahead. Think of the fox, sleek and cunning, slipping through the forest. It doesn't roar like a lion, it doesn't need to. It outsmarts the hunter before the hunter knows the chase has begun. You must be that fox. Let them think they know you. Let them think they've got you figured out. Smile when they expect it. Nod when they test you. But behind that mask, your mind is a blade, sharpening itself for the moment they drop their guard. They'll never see the strike coming, because you've already won the battle in their heads. Consider Cleopatra. She didn't rule by force, ruled by allure, by mystery, by making men like Caesar and Antony believe they held the reins while she pulled the strings. You can do the same, not with charm alone, but with strategy. Learn what they want, learn what they fear, then use it. Give them just enough to keep them close, but never enough to let them feel safe. Keep them guessing, keep them off balance. When they're off balance, they're vulnerable. And when they're vulnerable, you're in control. That's the game Machiavelli played, the game you're learning now. You don't fight fair, you fight to win. But winning isn't just about outsmarting them, it's about outlasting them. Power isn't a sprint, it's a siege. You don't burn yourself out chasing every slight, every insult. You conserve your strength. You wait for the moment when their walls are weakest. Then you strike not with fury, but with focus. Like a sniper in the dark. One shot, one kill. You don't need to destroy their world. You just need to shift it, tilt it, make it yours. And when you do, they'll wonder how they ever thought they could stand against you. That's the beauty of precision. It doesn't just win battles, it wins wars. You're beginning to feel the weight of it now, aren't you? The realization that power isn't a gift, it's a theft. You don't wait for the world to hand you the crown. You take it, silently, deliberately, with eyes like a hawk circling its prey. Machiavelli didn't write for the timid. He wrote for those who see the truth. The world is a chessboard, and every move counts. You're not here to play nice. You're here to checkmate. But the board is crowded with pawns who think they're kings, with voices that shout and egos that swagger. Your job is to cut through them not with noise, but with strategy so sharp it feels like a blade across their throat. Let's talk about alliances. You don't need friends, you need pawns. People who serve your purpose, who carry your flag without knowing they're marching for you. Machiavelli knew this. He saw how princes turned rivals into tools, how they bound loyalty with promises they never intended to keep. You must do the same. Find their desires, find their weaknesses, offer them just enough to keep them close a nod, a favor, a shared secret, but never give them your trust. Trust is a luxury you can't afford. Keep your plans locked in the vault of your mind. Let them think they're your equal, but always know you're the one holding the leash. Look at the wolves again. They don't hunt alone, but they don't share the kill out of kindness. The pack moves as one because the alpha wills it. You're the alpha. You choose who runs beside you, who carries your weight, who takes the fall when the arrows fly, but you never let them see the full map. Give them a piece, a glimpse, enough to keep them hungry, never enough to let them challenge you. That's how you build an empire, not with armies, but with minds. You don't need to control their bodies, control their thoughts, and their bodies follow. This is where patience becomes your sword. You don't rush, you don't react. When they provoke you, when they test you, you smile, you nod, you let them think they've won. But inside, you're counting their steps, measuring their reach, waiting for the moment they overextend. Then you strike not with anger, but with ice. Cold, calculated, final. Napoleon didn't win at Austerlitz by charging blindly. He baited his enemies, let them think they had the high ground, then crushed them when they least expected it. You must be that cunning. Let them charge, let them exhaust themselves. Then, when their guard is down, you claim what's yours. Power doesn't shout, it whispers, and its whisper shakes the world. You're deeper in now, aren't you? The fog is clearing, and you see the game for what it is, a dance of shadows, a war of whispers. You're not here to beg for scraps or plead for a seat at the table. You're here to own the table, to make the world bend to your will. Machiavelli didn't teach us to hope. He taught us to scheme, to see every interaction as a battlefield, every word as a weapon, every silence as a trap. You're not just playing the game, you're rewriting the rules. And the first rule is this: never let them see your full strength. Strength isn't just muscle or money or loud declarations. It's the ability to hold back, to keep your power coiled like a snake in the grass. They'll push you, test you, try to draw you out. Let them. Let them think they've measured you. But you're not a book to be read. You're a labyrinth. Every step they take toward you leads them deeper into your design. Think of the spider, patient and still, weaving a web so delicate it's invisible until the prey is caught. That's you. You don't chase. You don't beg. You build. You wait. And when they stumble into your trap, you strike with a precision that leaves no room for escape. Consider history's masters. Alexander didn't just conquer with armies. He conquered with awe. He made cities surrender before the first spear was thrown because they believed he was a god. You don't need to be a god, just act like one. Let your actions carry weight. Let your silence carry menace. When you speak, make every word a stone, heavy and deliberate, so they feel the ground shift beneath them. When you act, make it swift, surgical, undeniable. They'll talk about fairness, about honor, about playing by the rules. But rules are for those who kneel. You don't kneel, you stand. You command. You win. This is where fear becomes your ally. Not the fear you feel, but the fear you inspire. Not through threats, but through presence. You don't need to raise your fist, your gaze is enough. You don't need to shout, your calm is the storm they dread. Machiavelli knew this. A prince is feared not for what he does, but for what he might do. Keep them guessing. Keep them watching. Let every move you make feel like the edge of a blade, close enough to feel, but too sharp to touch. That's how you hold power, not by grasping it, but by making others hand it to you, trembling. Power isn't loud, it's lethal, and it's yours if you dare to take it. You're standing at the edge now, aren't you? The line between who you were and who you're becoming. You can feel the shift, the hardening of your resolve, the sharpening of your instincts. The world doesn't reward the hesitant, it rewards the ruthless. Not the reckless, not the loud, but the ones who move like ghosts, striking with the precision of a blade through silk. Machiavelli didn't just write about power. He carved a path for those who dare to walk it. You're on that path now. Every step is a choice. Every choice is a weapon. And the greatest weapon you'll ever wield is control over yourself, over your enemies, over the story they tell about you. Control starts within. You can't command the world if you can't command your own mind. Doubt is a traitor. Fear is a thief. Anger is a flame that burns you before it touches them. Cast them out. Train your thoughts like a soldier trains for war discipline. Focus, unrelenting. When they insult you, don't flinch. When they challenge you, don't react. Let their words fall like arrows missing their mark. You're not here to answer to them. You're here to outlast them, to outthink them, to outmaneuver them. Napoleon didn't win by raging at his enemies. He won by studying them, by knowing their moves before they did, by turning their strengths into traps. You must do the same. Look at the chessboard of your life. Every person, every situation, every slight is a piece in play. You don't attack blindly. You don't waste your energy on pawns who don't matter. You aim for the king, the one who holds the real power. But you don't rush. You circle. You feint. You let them think they're safe. Then, when their guard is down, you move with such certainty that they're checkmated before they see the board tilt. This is what Machiavelli meant when he said to keep your enemies close. Not to befriend them, but to know them. To map their desires, their fears, their blind spots, then use them. Turn their own weight against them. Let them fall by their own hand. This is the art of war without bloodshed. You don't need to destroy them, you need to outshine them. Make your presence so undeniable that they shrink in your shadow. Make your silence so heavy that they choke on their own words. You're not fighting for their approval. You're fighting for their surrender. And surrender comes not when they fear your strength, but when they fear your stillness, the calm before your storm, the pause before your strike. That's where power lives in the moment they realize they never stood a chance. Power isn't declared, it's assumed, and you're assuming it now. You're in the thick of it now, aren't you? The air feels heavier, charged with the weight of your own potential. You're not just listening, you're absorbing, recalibrating, becoming the predator Machiavelli trained you to be. The world is a jungle, and you're no longer prey. You're the one who stalks, who waits, who strikes when the moment is ripe. Power isn't a prize you win, it's a fire you stoke, a blade you sharpen, a throne you claim with every calculated step. You're learning to see through the noise, to cut through the chaos, to wield control like a sculptor shaping stone. But control isn't enough. You must master betrayal not as a victim, but as its architect. Betrayal isn't personal, it's strategic. Machiavelli didn't flinch at the word, and neither should you. The world will betray you friends, allies, those who swear loyalty with a smile. They'll turn when the wind shifts, when a better offer glints on the horizon. Expect it, plan for it, use it. You don't need to trust them, you need to predict them. Watch their eyes, their pauses, the way they shift when they think you're not looking. That's where their truth lies, not in their words, but in their silences. Like a hawk scanning the earth, you see the signs before they act. And when they do, you're ready not with anger, but with a countermove so smooth they'll never see it coming. Think of the great betrayals of history. Brutus didn't just stab Caesar. He waited, watched, chose the moment when trust was highest and guards were lowest. You don't need to wield a knife, but you need that same precision. When someone crosses you, don't lash out, don't scream. Smile, nod, let them think they've won, then move. Redirect their momentum, use their own ambition to unravel them. You're not here to fight their battles, you're here to win your own. Let them exhaust themselves, chasing shadows while you carve your path. The wolf doesn't howl when it's betrayed. It circles, it strikes, it survives. So must you. This is where your elegance shines. Power isn't brute force, it's artistry. You don't crush your enemies, you dismantle them, piece by piece, with a grace that leaves them awestruck. You don't need to raise your voice. Your actions speak. Your silence roars. Every move you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of their perception. Paint yourself as inevitable. Paint yourself as untouchable. When they look at you, let them see not just a person, but a foresee, a storm they can't outrun, a shadow they can't escape. That's the secret Machiavelli whispered. The game isn't won by the loudest player, but by the one who controls the board. And you're controlling it now. Don't raise your voice, raise your value. You're not just playing the game anymore, you're rewriting it. The world is watching, waiting, testing you with every glance, every whisper, every challenge. They want to see you falter, to see you break under their weight. But you don't break. You bend the world to your will, like a blade bending steel. Machiavelli didn't teach us to survive, taught us to thrive, to turn every obstacle into a stepping stone, every enemy into a pawn. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be undeniable. And to be undeniable, you must master the final art, legacy. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you build now. Every move you make, every word you choose, every silence you wield is a brick in the monument of your name. You don't need their applause. You need their awe. Look at the empires of history. Rome didn't fall because it lacked soldier sit, fell because it forgot how to inspire fear. You must never forget. Your presence must be a shadow that lingers, a weight that presses even when you're gone. When you walk into a room, they should feel it. When you leave, they should feel it more. That's power, not a crown you wear, but a myth you become. You build that myth through consistency. Every action must align. Every step must echo the last. The world is watching, cataloging, judging. One misstep, one crack in your armor, and they'll pounce. So you give them nothing. You move with the precision of a sniper, the grace of a dancer, the menace of a storm gathering on the horizon. Think of Genghis Khan, a name that still echoes like thunder across centuries. He didn't just conquer lands, he conquered minds. His enemies surrendered before the battle began, not because of his armies, but because of the stories they told about him. You must craft your own story. Let it be one of strength, of mystery, of unrelenting will. This is your final charge. You don't fight for today's victory, you fight for tomorrow's legend. You don't waste your energy on petty slights or fleeting grudges. You aim higher. You aim for eternity. Let them talk about you when you're gone. Let them whisper your name with a mix of fear and reverence. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be fair. You're here to be unforgettable. So stand tall. Move silently. Strike decisively. Let every choice you make carve your name deeper into the stone of history. They don't fear what you say. They fear what you might do. Power isn't declared. It's assumed.